Does this guy own any other shirts?
Illustrations by me.
I know what you're thinking, but I just want to be very clear. I own a lot of these, and I don't know why. I just bought shirts at different times. I must like the color because I keep picking them out. So I have about 3 of these, another blue shirt that's a little different, another blue shirt that's a little different, a couple of gray shirts, and that's about it for me. So I want you to stay till the end because I have 2 people that I just want to give a shout out to. 2 great channels on YouTube, one of them just starting, the other one just a little bit older, but still great channels, and I want you to check them out, so I'll let you know that at the end. This drawing, at first I didn't like it at all. I wanted to make like a monochromatic drawing and painting, well, you call it whatever you want, monochromatic painting, and then just put some details in, see if I can make it interesting all by itself without adding a lot of color. I did add a splash of color here or there, but I did not like this at all until I started adding the black ink. You'll see. Then I started to really like it, and the more I did, the more I liked. So it just, when you do something, keep putting in detail until it appeals to you a little bit better. If you see something and you really don't like it, maybe you just need to go a little further with it, and then you'll like it. So at the end of this, I know it's nothing special, but at the end, I really enjoyed this one. And today I'm going to see if I can fit both feet in my mouth and see how big my mouth can be, because I saw something and it just irritated the living hell out of me, and I want you to be aware of what's actually happening when this happens. Not saying that you're not, but some people really aren't, and I just want to spread the word and say, look, this is like a public service announcement. Let people know, look, companies are taking advantage of you, and I don't like it. Alright, that's a whole lot of information. Let's get into it. Okay, so before I get into it, I just want to say that people do ask me the question, what do I do when I have absolutely no inspiration? And I always say the same thing. Look around for something that you enjoy, a shape, and this is mostly for abstract pieces. People say, oh, I really don't know what to do, how to start an abstract, or what to do with an abstract. You just look around for shapes in nature or around your house or whatever that look interesting. Just look at the shape of things and say, okay, I like how this looks. I like the curve here, I like the jagged line here. And then put it down on paper. Most of the stuff that I look at is nature inspired, and you'll see that here. This is basically a bunch of, like a clump of roots coming out from under some bark, and that was my inspiration for it. That's what I like to look at, and I like to look at photos of roots of trees. I just like to look at them because they're interesting to me. I like all the different textures and the different knots and things that they form. So that's what I decided to do. And this will take time to take shape. So until I go in with that black ink, you're going to look at this and say, I really don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of washing it out. Oh, so someone also mentioned that they have trouble with perfection and they don't like to do abstract art because they like to be perfect. And if things don't come out just right, if things aren't, that line isn't just the shape that they wanted it in, or the line, they get frustrated and they get angry. And I don't want that to ever happen to someone. This is supposed to be experimentation. If you're doing that, you're not having fun. I always say that. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And I think that's true. So just take a look. I just kind of let loose on this. I just do whatever happens. And that's how it is. Okay, so I'd like to point this out. It should not be a polarizing issue because I'm not pitting any side against each other. I'm not saying this or saying that or confirming this or denying that. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just talking to you like a normal person, whatever that is. That's what I'm doing. So when you see a company who makes an entire commercial or entire ad that's not about the product they offer, but it's about whether they support something, whatever that thing is, like the environment or something like that. Now, when an art supply company, let's get a little bit more specific. When an art supply company creates an entire commercial, not about the superiority of their products or about how they're listening to artists and developing new things that we're asking for, but instead they do an entire ad, doesn't feature any of their products. The ad itself is just about how they're doing everything they can to be carbon neutral, or to support a nonprofit, or to support a cause they think that the majority of their audience is in support of. That has the exact opposite effect on me as they are intending. Now listen, I don't mind if while you're talking about your company, they answer a question about how they handle those things. Let me give you an example. Let's say a company comes out with a new pencil line, and it's a state-of-the-art carbon clay mix that will retain its point longer and reduce the number of times you need to stop just to sharpen it. And someone asked them, okay, well, what impact does your carbon product have on the environment? And they said, well, we put the carbon from the earth into this pencil, and then when you draw with it, the bits fall off and you blow it around, and you're the one who's polluting the air, not us. So we're capturing the carbon, you're letting it go into the environment. That's your fault, you're a problem. So now that would be an acceptable circumstance to bring it up because someone asked a question. But when an entire advertisement is produced just to say, oh, hey, by the way, we're not doing anything wrong. We're better than other companies because we're moral, and they're not. Now, I want you to think about this. What would you do if a child walked up to... What would a parent do? Any parent. What would they do if a child walked up to them and said, hi, I didn't do anything wrong? Immediately, what you think is, what did you do? By the way, this is called virtue signaling, and it's shady as hell. Let me tell you why. Because in this case, you have an art company. It's an art supply company. They know that some people do not care about this issue. They know that. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't care about the issue. I care about the environment. And see, that's how you bring that up. If we're talking about something, I clarified because it sounded for a second like maybe I didn't. I do. Back to what we're talking about here. So they know that these people just care about the best product for their money. They know that they want the result more than anything else. They don't care about anything else. They're just like the hypocrites who fly on their private jets to go to the environmental conferences. By the way, that's everyone who attends those conferences. So these people will buy the products anyway. They don't care about that kind of stuff. But their marketing team also knows that there's a high demographic of people who will only buy the product from a company who says that they reduced their carbon footprint and planted trees and all that wonderful stuff. This is emotional manipulation. They know if they say that they're invested in what's important to the demographic of people that they're trying to target, then those people will buy more from them so they can increase their profits and grow their business. And the other people already don't care, so they're going to buy the products anyway if it's a good product. It's a win-win for them. Now, I'm not saying they don't care. I'm saying whether they do or they do not, they will make sure they say they do, and everyone knows it so they can make their money. I once worked with this guy who always begged for compliments. Like every time he did anything, he'd go to whoever's closest to him, working with them, and say, wow, that was a good job, huh? Or, hey, that was a good idea I had, huh? And then he'd explain it, and he'd go into, I just thought I would do this and not this because it's better like this, and that was a good idea, right? And he would do this all day, and I tried to avoid him as much as possible. He's a nice guy, he's just too much. I can't handle that. But I know this isn't the exact same thing because the guy obviously had self-esteem issues and no confidence in himself unless it was validated by some stranger. I've just been waiting to work that story into a conversation for a very long time. It's not necessarily to do with this. But have you ever seen people who they donate to causes and then they tell you about it? And because they're trying to get a pat on the back. They're trying to say, oh yeah, you are good. I will support you because you're doing all this stuff. So I want to be around these people that give money and don't tell anyone about it. That do something for someone else and don't go bragging that they just did something for someone else. Those are the people that I respect, and you wouldn't even know it because they wouldn't tell you. But they do it. They don't say a word about it. They just go. If you need that instant reward of everyone patting you on the back and telling you how wonderful you are, it's really not good. And these companies that are doing that, they're 100% trying to convince you that they stand for the same values you do, and that's why you should give them more money. Don't be swayed by these people. That's why I say it has the opposite of the intended effect on me. When I see this, I run and I hold onto my wallet with both hands as I'm running. Don't answer a question no one's asking, or there's an agenda behind it. That's how I look at it. So just be an art supply company. You can list it on your website. I don't have a problem with that. People listing it on their website, saying, like on the About Us page, or even in the fact page, if you know the frequently asked questions, in case you don't know what that is. But even if no one's asked the question, but you just want to list it in there, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you make it front and center, when it's the spectacle that you make of it, it's something huge. It's a marketing tactic, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to manipulate you. So I'm not going to mention who the company was. I saw it recently. It's not the first time I saw it from this company. I see it all the time from this company. Through the years, I've always seen it from them. And I just wanted to bring it up. So, and this has backfired on many companies. They try and say something, everybody all of a sudden is against that thing, and they didn't realize it, and now they're screwed, and now they try and backpedal, and they try and spin it with their PR company, and it's just very shady. That's all. It's very shady. That's how I look at it. They take what that guy does to just a whole nother level. Oh, didn't I do a good job? I did a good job. Now give me your money. That's really what they're doing. And look, all in all, companies need marketing departments. They need your money. That's how they survive. There's nothing wrong with a company making money. I don't have a problem with that at all. But don't make money by manipulating people and getting them to invest in you when they really shouldn't be, or it's just like under false pretenses. You don't really know if that company really supports what they're saying. They just tell you that, even if they have an initiative in plan where they actually donate some money there, it's still, you don't really know how they really feel. They could be doing it because the return from doing that is bigger than what they're investing in doing that. So that's what they do. So I don't like that at all. It makes me very uncomfortable with that company. And if the company was doing that, I probably would not ever work with them in any capacity, because it makes me very uncomfortable. A company should be able to stand on its own product. And if you ask a question, I get it. You say, oh, you make this wonderful product and I love this product. Do you have any initiatives for this? And they say, oh yeah, okay, we support this. That's different. Then they're telling you that they support something that they actually support, but they're not making it the focus. They're not turning it into a giant PR thing. They're actually, okay, they support that, but that's not how they're trying to sell you. They're trying to sell you on the good product that they produce. That's what a company should do. I feel like I'm repeating myself now. I apologize. I don't want to keep doing that. Alright, so now I want to talk about these two channels that just started, or at least relatively new. One of them is Psychedelic Doodles with Pam, and she only has a couple videos up, but check them out. They're very interesting. The drawing she does in one of them, the other one is a flip through of a sketchbook, and it's a real sketchbook, and she lets you know that. She doesn't like my sketchbook. No, she didn't say that. She doesn't like sketchbooks that don't look like sketchbooks. She doesn't like sketchbooks that look finished. She likes sketchbooks that look like sketchbooks, and that's how she uses them. And I have to tell you, the sketchbook she uses here, whatever it is, has a lot of pages in it. But it's good. When you go through there, there's a lot. Of course, the ones that I'm drawn to in this video are the ones that have a lot more contrast. So the ones that are very dark with the ink and the black and white, that's what I like. But they're all very good. You see the practice, you see the process, and that's a part of it. That's a wonderful thing to look at. The second channel is Eugen. I believe his name is either Eugene or Eugen. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And the last name is Borcan. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But I have the links down below, both their channels. But his channel, he does a lot of fountain pen drawings. And that's interesting because he starts out with basic shapes, keeps adding more and more contrast, sometimes a splash of color, and it develops into something that's very interesting to watch. He does talk about the pens and lets you know about them and what's good about them, what's not good about them. It's a very interesting channel. I'm a fan of both of them. I really urge you to go check them out. See, I need more artists to come here on YouTube So here's what I'm going to do. Anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start one, you really have no idea exactly what to do or what you're doing, and you need help, you need advice, you don't know if the things you have will work or what, there's an email down below. You can email me. I don't mind. This is a free service. I don't mind answering some questions. If you want me to just take a look at something and say, hey, look, can you think I can do this with my phone? Yes, you can do it with your phone. Let's see what you have. How do you do it? I don't mind just giving my 2 cents. Of course, you may not want to take my advice. I'm not very good at what I do to begin with, but I just enjoy the whole process. So if there's anything I can do, if I can't get the lighting right, or I don't understand how to set it up or whatever, just let me know. But don't ask me about color grading. If you look at me in my color grading, I have a blue light in the back. I oversaturate everything. I overexpose everything. I look like I have pink skin, even though apparently I'm olive colored. That's what I'm told. But in the videos, I just can't color grade. The top-down stuff I do because I sit the book open in front of me and color grade to match what the book looks like. So that I can do okay. But when it comes to skin tones or anything else, don't ask me about that. I'm not good at that. Alright, so thumbs up the video if you are going to try and start a YouTube channel. Listen, we need more YouTube channels, like good art channels out there. We need some new faces on here. We need some real artists who get passionate about what they're doing and share their experience. And I hope that you would do that. To tell you, I've said it 100 times, it has changed my life. And I would recommend anyone try and do this. It's frustrating sometimes if you're expecting results you're not getting. But if you're just doing it to share because you love it, it's an amazing experience. Alright, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.